If you've been thinking about selling your home in the Charleston area, or you tried to sell recently and it didn't work out, I've got some encouraging news for you. The housing market may be healthier than it seems. The latest numbers show that homes are selling, prices are holding, and every major price range in the Charleston area remains in what's technically considered a seller's market. But the market has changed. So having success in today's market is not as easy as putting a sign in the yard, sitting back and waiting for offers. It's about understanding what buyers are thinking, positioning the home correctly, and getting the right selling strategy in place from the beginning. So let's take a look at what the second quarter numbers are really telling us. Let's start with one of the most encouraging numbers in the report. Through June, home sales in the Charleston area were up 5% compared to last year and up 4% compared to 2024. And even more encouraging, April, May, and June recorded more sales year over year than last year. And June actually finished with a substantial increase and ended above the long-term trend line. Now, that's not a market correction. It simply tells us that buyers are still in the market, they're still making decisions, and well-priced homes are continuing to sell. The market isn't frozen. Buyers just have become a little more selective. Here in the Charleston Tri-County area, we ended the quarter with approximately 2.6 months of housing supply. Now, as a general rule, a market with up to 3 to 4 months of inventory is still considered a seller's market, but that's moving towards a more balanced market. And as you'll notice from the chart, the more expensive the home, the longer it's generally taking to sell. Now, nationally, housing supply is currently considerably higher, but since housing is local and Charleston is somewhat insulated from the national market, here the Charleston inventory remains much tighter, and the report shows us that every price range that we analyze is still operating within seller market territory. However, there are still a few micro market exceptions in our region, and that's an important distinction. Buyers now have more choices than they did in 2021 and 2022, but we haven't suddenly shifted into a market where buyers have unlimited choices and all the time in the world to make a decision. Still, a properly prepared and accurately priced home can still stand out successfully and sell in a reasonable time frame. The median sales price during the second quarter was approximately $488,000, up slightly from last year. Now that may not sound dramatic, but stability is good news. Now, following the rapid appreciation in 2021 and 2022, our home values here in Charleston didn't experience the dramatic drop that many feared. Instead, the market has been moving through what looks more like a soft leveling out. Prices are holding near record levels, while the market gradually returns to a more sustainable pace. For homeowners, that means the equity created over the last several years has generally remained intact. Now, we're not looking to repeat another housing crisis of 2008. What we're looking at is a market that is more likely normalizing. If you'd like to take a look through the complete second quarter Charleston market report for yourself, I've made a copy available for you. Just click the link in the description below and you can download the full report with all the charts and statistics I'm referencing in this video. Breaks down the market by price range, days on the market, inventory, price reductions, failed listings, seller concessions, and much more. There's no obligation, it's simply a helpful resource to give you a more clear picture of what's really happening in the Charleston housing market. You may hear that days on the market have increased by more than 23%, and that may sound alarming to you until you look at the actual number. The median home actually took 32 days to sell, and that was only 6 days longer than last year. Now, 32 days on the market is not unhealthy. It simply means buyers are taking a little more time comparing their options, assessing condition, and evaluating whether prices make sense. Today's seller needs patience, but not endless patience. The home that is properly positioned with the right strategy should generate activity quickly, and when it doesn't, that typically means the market is sending a message. Something is off. Could it be the price, presentation, condition, or maybe the marketing strategy needs to be adjusted? One of the most positive statistics in the entire report is that approximately 32% of all homes sold for 100% or more of their original asking price. That's pretty amazing. And those homes sold in a median of only 4 days on the market. Now, that's not a down market. What it means is that when buyers recognize value, they act. In fact, homes that sold without a price reduction received a median of 100% of their original price and went under contract in approximately 7 days. The opportunity is still here. In this market, the seller simply has to put their home on the market with a strategy that creates confidence rather than doubt. And ironically, it's been proven the higher you price relative to the market, the least amount of control you have over the outcome. Now, suppose you recently listed your home for sale and it didn't sell. That doesn't necessarily mean buyers don't want your property. According to the report, approximately 23% of the listings failed to sell during the quarter, but that failure rate was actually lower than it was last year. Many of those homeowners still want or need to move. A seller's failed first attempt may have been affected by timing, price, preparation, photography, accessibility, negotiation strategy, or the way the home was positioned against competing properties. The market may not have rejected the home. It may just have rejected the original strategy. That's an important difference because strategies can be changed. The report shows the first week on the market provides the highest probability for selling and the strongest chance of receiving close to the asking price. The data also shows that homes requiring a price reduction sold for a median of about 93% of their original list price and took 96 days to sell. Then factor in roughly 3 additional months of carrying costs, and you can see how expensive testing the market can become. By comparison, correctly positioned homes can sell in about a week and receive full original list price. This is why selecting an agent based on the highest suggested listing price can be an expensive decision. The goal is not to choose the biggest number presented at the listing appointment. The goal is to choose the strategy that is most likely to produce the highest amount in your pocket. So to summarize the second quarter market report, here's the good news. Homes are selling, sales activity is improving, inventory remains limited, and prices are holding. Buyers are still willing to pay a strong price when the home is priced correctly. This is not a bad market. It's a market that rewards preparation, accurate pricing, a strong presentation, and experienced representation. If your home didn't sell the first time, or you're considering selling and want to avoid the costly mistakes that are currently costing other homeowners time and money, I'd be happy to prepare a fresh data-driven selling strategy for your property. There's no pressure and no obligation. We'll look at your home's value, your competition, your price range, and compare it to what today's buyers are actually looking for. Because your home may not need a different market. It may simply need the best plan.